Hey guys, this is Uncle Charlie and I'm back with another video on lacing. Today, at first, I'm going to show you how to end a thing of lacing that you're ready to wear as a bracelet or a necklace, depending on the length. And I'm also going to show you a new way to do lacing called tornado. It's really cool. Looks like this. So that's for a little bit, those of you who are getting the hang of this basic stuff, you want to do a little bit more advanced stuff, alright? Alright, but first let's end the beautiful lacing that we started a couple weeks ago, alright? So first, you want to separate the strings into two groups, okay? And then you just want to take them and tie them together. And you're just going to put them through like you're beginning to tie a shoelace. And pull it tight. And you should get something at the top that looks just like that, all right? At this point, you want to pick the longest leftover string. The longest leftover string in this case is this one. I'm going to take this one and I want to wrap it around my other three strings. And then I want to put it through that string just like I'm tying a knot, but this time I'm only using one string. And if I pull right tight like that, cause those three all to tie together like that, all right? And now kids, this is where you're going to want to get your parents involved because this step is a little bit tricky, okay? So you got that tied there. Now what you want to do is you want to take the other three strings that are not the one that you've tied it around. You want to take these other three strings and you're going to cut them. But not you, have your parents do this, all right? And tell your parents that it'll probably be easier to use a nail clipper. That's what I've got here. It's a very useful tool for this, and especially for the next step that I am teaching. Before you tie that off, you're probably going to want to make a second loop just so that it doesn't slip. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the string that you already tied around. You're going to go around your index finger like I've done right there. And then you're going to take your finger out and you're going to put the lacing string through. And then you're going to make sure you're going to get this knot as close to the other knot as possible. All right, so mine didn't come out too good there, but I think you understand the point. All right, so now I'm going to cut these three. I'm not going to cut this one. I'm going to cut these three, and I want to leave a little bit of space to make sure that they don't slip from the knot that we have them in there, okay? I want to leave a little bit of space, so I'm going to, I don't know, maybe just a fingernail length. Get in there with these and cut them after a little bit. Give me a second. This is why you have your parents do this. This is a little bit tricky. Don't want to take any chances and hurt yourself. Just have your parents nice and just go snip. Maybe a little bit of a tear if you have to. Get on that last one there. Snip. That's off, all right? All right. Now here comes the part where we're making it into a bracelet, okay? So, on your nail clippers, you might have this little tool here, this little file, and this is the tool that we're going to use to make the bracelet, okay? You're going to go to the back end of your lacing, and you're going to stick, you see that little loop right there? Oh, that's over the rest of it, that little pink loop. You're going to stick your file in there because it's something nice and pointy that you can just jam in there a little bit. And then you're going to put it in there, you're going to twist it, and you're just going to create a little bit of space in there. You're going to try to get your file, stuck in there a little bit. It should not break your lacing unless you're using too much force. So once you get your file in there, you're going to take the other side of your lacing, and you're going to run the string through the hole you've created, like that. Then you can pull the file out. You've got this. And there you go. Then you can just slide it on your arm, pull it tight, wrap this around your wrist, just tuck it in. It's a great bracelet. All right, so that's how you end that. Hope that was clear. And so then whenever you want to take it off, just pull the strap, let it go. And next time you want to get it in, the hole should still be there. So with only a little bit of effort, you should just be able to slide it on through, tighten it again. All right. So now on to tornado. This is probably one of the favorites at camp. That said, not a lot of people know how to actually do it. So I just decided to make a video on it, try to teach some people. All right, so the first thing is you got to cut your lacing strings. We're going to cut two strings of equal length, just that same arm span that we did last time. So I got here, same arm span. Maybe a little longer because Tornado is a little bit, it's going to shrink a little bit more, so maybe a little bit longer. But this one is different because you need actually a third string for this one. So for this one, I picked black just because it's a nice neutral color. You're going to want to do an arm span and basically almost double what you would for a normal one, maybe a little bit shorter. So I go to there, and then I take a second one, take a second arm span without cutting the first one off. Take a second arm span that my lacing would untangle. Take a second arm span, yeah, that's almost 2 arm spans. So I'm going to cut it with my nail clippers right over here. There we go. And so now I've got these 3 strings of length, 3 strings of length, lacing, 2 of equal length, and then 1 long one, the black one. So, and then I'm going to find the middle of all those 3 strings just like I did in our other video. And this time, I'm going to cross them again, perpendicular. I'm going to cross them again, just like I did in the other video. Except this time, the long string has to be on the bottom. This is very important. The black string has to be on the bottom, okay? And you want the black string running with your thumb, all right? So, here's what you do now. You've got to start it basically the same way as you started our other stuff, just a little bit more difficult, okay? So separate our strings a little bit, give us a little bit more space. So you're going to take, my pink string is on the right. You want to do the one toward the end of your fingertips first. So you're going to flip the string that's towards you over away from you, and you're going to flip the string that's away from you over towards you. Now this is really hard. You might need to get a parent to do this just because it's very hard to pinch everything, very hard to get it to bounce out, and you got to make sure that black string doesn't slip, all right? So I've got those 2 loops, okay? Now I need to make sure that I do the same thing with the blue loop. So the blue loop that's towards me goes over and away from me, and then the blue loop that is away from me comes over and towards me. And so then I have to pinch everything, and you may have to just wiggle around a little bit to figure this stuff out. This is a very difficult move. This is the hardest start in all of lacing, if I'm completely honest with you. With all of the lacing that I teach at camp, this is the hardest. So getting it in there, it's taking me a minute because I got to struggle with it because I got to make sure that I get my black string in there. But when it's all said and done, we got like this, okay? Now here's what you got to do. You got to make sure that the loose ends are alternating. So there's one away, and then the other pink one is towards me, and then the next blue string next to the pink string is away, and the next blue string is towards me, all right? So I'm pretty sure that's happening. So now I take the black string, okay, and I just go over the first loop, under the second loop of the pink, and then I go over the first loop of the blue, under the second loop of the blue. So just like I was doing 2 squares, just doing them at the same time. 2 squares, 2 circles, doing them at the same time, okay? So, got that. So now we got to pull the other one up through the hole in my hand there. Pull this up. Oh, this is a long one. Got to run it the other way. So over the first blue string, under the first blue string. Right like that. Over the first, under the second. Sorry. Then over the first pink string, under the second pink string. So then you're going to pull it through. And now you've got to try to just do this pull. Just stick with it best you can. You're going to want to take the blue and the pink that are away from you in your right hand, along with the black string that is close to that hand. Then you're going to want to take the other blue and the pink in your left hand. And you can kind of see how this is going to form, but as I pull it, just got to be careful that you don't pull any one string too much. And if you just make sure that none of the strings cross and you just keep getting it tighter together, you might have to just grab it with your hand to keep it in the position that you want because you're trying to go to this. Okay, so if it gets loose, you're going to want to just clamp down on what you want and then pull the strings out from it. And that's going to give you your tight start like that. Okay, back looks like that, front looks like that. Okay, so we're going to start lacing on this platform. Okay, but since it's really hard to start lacing on such a small box, I am going to cheat and I'm going to show you on one lacing that I have already done that's practically almost done. So you have, so I have all this lacing, right? I started the same way. And so here's how you do a regular loop of this lacing. You're going to take your long string, which is still my black string. You're going to take your longest string called the center string. You're going to take your center string and you're going to flip it over and diagonal of the other black string like you were doing circle, all right? Just like circle. You're going to flip it over and diagonal of the other black string. So it looks just like that. You see the diagonals happening along the rectangle there. The rectangle is like that. We're going diagonal. So then you're just going to, within each color, you're going to do circle, all right? So orange is going to go over the first loop, onto the second loop, to the outside of the other orange. Like that. It started on the bottom, and now it's on the top. And then this one is started on the top, but now it's on the bottom, and it's going over the first loop, onto the second loop. So I'm trying to make sure my strings don't tangle here, because I worked pretty hard on this. So then you make sure, okay, where's my green? All right, I go over the first loop, onto the second loop, and I got to make sure that it's to the outside of the other string, the outside of the other string of the same color. So if you see what I did on my last one was, this one was my very bottom green string. Now it's in the middle. It's my middle green string, okay? See that? Because I brought this one up on the bottom, and now I go over under like this. Over under, outside the green string. No strings of the same color cross, just like circle and square. And then you just pull. You're looking at that kind of thing. You just got to kind of pull there. Got to pull the orange. This is hard. Got to just pull everything a little bit, and then eventually you'll see the shape that you want, and you'll know how to get there. Bang. Got there. Okay? So I'm going to do that one more time, and I'm going to talk about some common mistakes. Common mistakes would be, one, you may have done one color diagonal and not the other color. That's not going to work. You got to do everything diagonal for this to work. Another common one would be, well, if you cross your strings to the same color. Another one would be, if your lacing is going through but it's not looking like this, it would be because you're doing square and not circle. You're not doing the diagonals. You see there in the green, I just did, this one was on the bottom and I put it up to the top. This one was on top, put it down to the bottom. So then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take this orange string, which is on the top, and I'm going to run it, and I'm going to run it over the first loop, under the second loop, and to the bottom of the orange, not past any of the green strings. Not going to cross any of the green strings. The green and the orange don't cross each other either. And then I'm going to just go orange, over, under, back the other way. Try to make sure my strings don't get tangled. When I mean tangled, I mean kind of twisted. If you twist them, it kind of looks, I don't even think I have an example here. I've been doing such a good job. That's how good I am. So, yeah, it's good and it takes some time. And once again, you're kind of left with this mess. But if you just pull and kind of just work it out, you finally see what you're looking for. And you get that. And eventually, you'll get this beautiful rotating pattern I've got here. Takes a little bit. Make sure you use plenty of string or else it's not going to be close. I didn't use enough on this and it's not going to make it around my wrist. I don't have enough string to make it happen. Make sure that you guys use enough string and you should be all right. Have a good one, guys.